You get the promotion and you think, I'm not ready. Now ask yourself, ready for what exactly? There's a specific kind of doubt that shows up right after something really good happens, a promotion, a pivot, a bigger room. You're excited. And then your brain pulls up a chair and starts whispering worst case scenarios. In this episode, I'm going to show you why doubt is not proof that you're unqualified, how to spot your flavor of imposter syndrome, and 2 tools to get your footing again without waiting to feel confident. And I'm also going to share a quick case study about a brand new chief creative officer in week 1 because it makes this whole thing like really understandable. Hi, I'm Laverne McKinnon. Welcome to Moonshot Mentor. Now, if you're navigating high stakes change, a career transition, or leading a team through uncertainty, I promise you're in the right place. I'm a speaker, a career strategist, and a grief coach. I work with leaders, teams, and individuals to cut through the noise, regain traction, and make clear, aligned decisions spiritually, strategically, and tactically. Now, if you find what I'm talking about useful, please follow and subscribe. You're going to get weekly insights on leadership and culture and career transitions. All right, let's jump into it. Most people think that the goal is to eliminate self-doubt, but doubt is a normal response to new conditions, new team dynamics, new expectations, new exposure, new stakes. So your nervous system is actually doing its job. It's scanning for risk. It's trying to protect you from being judged, getting it wrong, or being seen as inexperienced. The problem that's happening is the interpretation of this new data. When doubt shows up, we often treat it like a capability report card instead of just looking at it for what it is, you adjusting to new conditions. Imposter syndrome shows up in so many different ways, and sometimes we rotate through a few depending on the season. So here are several different types of imposter syndrome, and you might recognize yourself in one of these. And for full disclosure, I check off every single box. Okay, the perfectionist. We talk about this all time. If it's not flawless, it doesn't count. That's basically the mantra for the perfectionist. The next one is the soloist. If I need help, I don't belong here. Oh my gosh, I'm always trying to do things independently. Not helpful. The next one is the superhuman. If I'm not excelling in every single lane, I'm failing. And then there's the expert. If I don't know everything, I shouldn't be here. And then the natural genius. If it's not easy, maybe I'm not built for this. Notice what these all have in common. They turn growth into danger. Here are 2 approaches I use to deal with imposter syndrome because they work without you having to become somebody that you're not. Tool number 1, hold 2 conflicting feelings at the same time. You can feel nervous and ready enough. You can feel exposed and still be the right person for the job. The goal isn't to erase the self-doubt. It's to make enough space to be able to act with courage. And when you create the space, you have more energy and more room to hold 2 conflicting feelings. Try this sentence. I feel unsure and I'm still a good leader. That's not a mantra. It's a leadership skill. Senior roles involve incomplete information, messy trade-offs, and decisions that can't be validated in advance. Tool number 2, change the thought, change the feeling. Imposter syndrome thrives on vague thoughts that sound true because they feel intense. Now, the antidote for this is precision. Here's an example. You get the promotion and you think, I'm not ready. Now ask yourself, ready for what exactly? You want to get super precise in asking a question of the self-doubt. What's the actual requirement in this moment? Most likely, it's something you know how to do or it's already within your grasp. And if it's not, you wouldn't have gotten that promotion or that new responsibility or that visibility if you didn't know how to solve a problem. So that's when you're going to rewrite the thought into something that's truthful that you can act from. Here are a couple of examples from my side. I'm in the learning curve phase of this role. I don't need to know everything to be effective. I need to know what matters most. I can figure this out as I go. If you've been following my YouTube journey, you have seen me figuring this out as I go. Accuracy calms your nervous system. Vague drama, oh my gosh, this is never going to work. No one's going to watch this. Everyone's going to hate you. That type of vague drama, it ramps up your nervous system. So when you're calmer, you're obviously going to make better decisions. And the way that you can get calmer is by being precise and asking questions of the self doubt. What makes you say that? Where is the proof? All right, let's take a look at a quick case study to bring all of this alive. Linda had just landed her first C-suite role as chief creative officer. It was a really big moment and something that she had been working for a long time. And it also came with a lot of big visibility. And then, of course, week one happened. 17 people wanted her feedback. 17. Meanwhile, she hadn't even had time to read all of the briefs, let alone form thoughtful opinions. So her brain did what brains do in new condition. It turned a workload that would overwhelm anyone into proof that she was an imposter. So her internal dialogue sounded like, I'm behind. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Linda's imposter flavor was the soloist, the voice that says, if I need help, I shouldn't be here. So we used tool number one. We practice holding two truths at the same time. I'm leading this and I can ask for help. Then we added one simple thought that brought her back to earth. I'm not the first chief creative officer in the history of media. Her next move was small, but it was a turning point. So she reached out to a former boss and asked, how did you handle the workload in your first month? Because the workload wasn't going to disappear, but she did have control about the spiral. So she stopped treating her self doubt like it was the truth and got curious and used her tool to hold two conflicting thoughts, two different feelings in order to be able to move forward. If this is hitting you and resonating with you, let's talk. Because if you're in a bigger role and doubt is creeping in and creating hesitation, or you're like having to like overwork to try to prove that you're worthy, or self-editing, coaching can help you stabilize and lead from clarity. So I currently do have 4 one-to-one coaching packages available right now. So book a consult and we'll determine fit and next steps. Bottom line here is that confidence is not the price of entry for leadership. Courage is. Doubt is not a verdict. It's information about the moment that you're in. So let the actual evidence steer your decisions, not the storyline in your head. Before we wrap, if you're longing for more support as you navigate career change, join Solid Ground. You're going to get monthly career grief lessons and worksheets, live coaching, journal prompts, and guided meditations so you can regain traction and make your next move with clarity. You can sign up at moonshotmentor.substack.com. Thank you to Amanda Kenny for her digital brilliance and for Lauren Deacon for her operational brilliance. I could not do what I'm doing without either of them. Most of all, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate your time and also your comments and reaching out to me. Keep it coming. And until then, I will see you next week.